Hi everyone, this is going to be a pretty short video. This is just a review of what we have covered so far. And obviously you can go visit all the previous videos to see how we solve each problem. I just wanna have like a time to go over the topics that we have covered. So we started with learning about the runoff coefficient equation. R equals the runoff coefficient times the precipitation. That was the very first problem that we solved. And then we used the hydrologic cycle equation a lot, actually, in a few problems, quite a few problems in very different scenarios. Um, in this problem as well, we use the hydrologic cycle equation mainly to get familiar with the each of the terms of the hydrologic cycle equation. Um, then we kept using the same equation in different scenarios, and then we introduced a very important concept that is return periods. In the video where I covered this, I tried to explain in very good detail what it actually means. It's very important that this concept of return periods is understood because we're gonna use it for the rest of the class. Um, then we started learning about distribution equations. A lot of us, and I include myself, I I don't quite understand 100% all the distributions and how they come to be. But the nice thing about this class is that we don't exactly need to understand how to derive every equation. We just need to become familiar with the equation and what each term mean and how to use it. Instead of like understanding the whole background of every distribution equation, we just need to use them as tools to get our answers for what we're looking for. So we cover four different Gumbel distribution equations and sorry, four different distribution equations. One of them is the Gumbel distribution. We also cover the binomial distribution. And between these two, then right after these two, we cover, solve for some problems to get familiar with some statistical terms like average, standard deviation, skewness, how to solve for those using Excel with our data, with our given data. Um, we solve for more of those variables with given data. Uh, and yeah, we also got familiar with annual series and partial series and how to solve them with a given data. So hopefully after you watch these videos and solve the problems yourself, you have a better idea. Again, you don't have to memorize it because this is gonna happen just with practice when you just, it's gonna come as like second nature, but at least you need to understand how to do it, right? Um, so we covered Gumbel distribution. What was the other one? And binomial distribution. And then in the fourth video, actually in the third video, we introduced the normal distribution. So this will be the third out of four distributions that we covered so far. And again, you just need to get familiar to how to use each each one of these distributions. In the fourth video, we also introduced the log Pearson type 3 distribution, and we explained how to work with it with our given data and how to use the tables. Uh, you just need to get familiar with how to work with each distribution, how each one of them works, and most importantly, in what scenarios you need to use them. We have, I believe, four different problems, one per each distribution. If you get familiar with the characteristics of the problems and what type of distributions were used for each specific problem, um, I guess that's very, very good for this class, especially because this is like introduction to hydrology, right? Um, so yeah, that's what we've covered so far. Then we solved some other problems of about hydrologic cycle equation again. Um, and uh, and then we introduce radiation and humidity. Again, these are a lot of equations. Radiation is just one equation, the radiation equation, but it's very important you get some practice using the units of the equation, depending on what the problem is asking you. And in the humidity, we also have a lot of equations. I personally don't think, I mean, you need to like push yourself to memorize each one of them. You just need to get familiar with how to use each equation because you can always go back to your notes and review. But if you know how to solve for each one of these equations, how to use the units, uh, if you have become familiar with the units and how to do the conversions, you should be in a pretty good shape uh, so far for what we have covered. And From now on, we're just gonna be I would say we have already covered the very basic concepts that we need for this class, and now we're gonna start using more like the distributions and learning about hydrographs and hydrographs. So yep, this is gonna be a super short video, just to review all of what we have covered so far. So I'll see you in the next video.